Alright guys, this is an update to my Banshee controllers. This right here is a 341 VE turbo. It has the medium duty actuator compared to the light duty actuator you normally find on the 351s and a 6.7 liter Cummins. This has about 4 Newton meters of torque, where these have 8, so they're a lot more heavy duty, a lot more powerful, almost twice the power. The really unique thing about these actuators is they actually have 2 water inlets and a water outlet here, as well as on a casing there's a water inlet and a water outlet here, so you actually have 2 different sources of water that's circulating through the turbo to cool it down. I'm actually planning on swapping my 351 for a model like this. Basically just swap over the exhaust housing and a compressor, and you'll have a 351 with a medium duty actuator instead of a light duty actuator. Another problem with running these is they're not 12 volts, they're actually 24 volts, which is what I'm using as a AC to DC converter. That gives me my 24 volts to test the actuator out. My Banshee controllers now can definitely fully control these turbos as well. So if you wanted to run them, my controls will do it. The new controller that I'll have out hopefully around November, end of November time frame, is going to have a control box, so you can actually manually tune it. It won't look this bad. It's actually going to be manufactured. It's going to be a smaller box. It's going to have smaller knobs, and it's going to have a push button. The way this is going to work is you're going to be able to lower your drive pressure by turning the first knob, and what that's going to do is it's actually going to retract the VGT, the sliding nozzle. So if you're at a certain pressure and you're cruising down the road and you're going 10 pounds of boost and you want to lower it, you'll be able to turn the first knob and it'll actually bring down the boost just a little bit. The second knob will actually change the ratio between how much pressure it takes to open up the actuator and how fast it opens up. So right now out of the box it takes 50 pounds of boost to actually go from closed to fully open. If you wanted to change that, you'd be able to turn it roughly halfway and it'll take 25 pounds, and it'll go down a little bit further, probably down about 15 pounds of boost to fully open it. The third knob is actually for the exhaust brake. So the way this is going to work is if you want to use the exhaust brake, you're going to you press the switch that'll be on here, and what that does, it'll actually energize a second lead that'll go down to your gas pedal. Now you guys will actually have to figure out what switch you want to run, go to AutoZone or somewhere else and buy a switch, and then you'll plug it into the wiring harness that comes with it, and then what will happen is when you flip the switch, it'll go down, power that switch, so when you take your foot off the accelerator, it'll close the circuit, and what will happen is it'll actually power this knob, and this will actually change how much braking force you have. So if you want to have 100% brake, 50% brake, or just a little bit of brake, you just turn this knob to whatever setting you want. There'll actually be an indicator from 0 to 100 on the box, and then when you press the gas to get going again, it'll open up the circuit and it'll go back to normal operation. And then if you're driving around town, driving back to where you normally would, you don't want your brake kicking in, you press the button, turn off the brake, and you're back to normal operation. So it should actually be pretty interesting for you guys. Actually, that's the feature a lot of you guys were asking me for. I'm also working with trying to get road rage gauges. For you guys that haven't heard of them, go ahead and Google their name. They got a pretty cool LCD screen that will give you your EGT probe, your boost pressure up to 50 pounds. It'll also tell you what your percent is on the actuator. So it'll say it's 0%, which would be fully open, or 100% would be fully closed. It'll also give you your RPM sensor, so you'll be able to see the turbo RPM. And yeah, so it's going to be pretty cool. I'm not sure what the cost is going to be for that, but basically once I can get a prototype from them, I'll make the controllers talk to it, and then you guys will just be able to order it from them. But yeah, send me an email. I'll have probably 5 ready to go sometime in November, and then after that it'll probably be sometime in December before I have a couple more. But yeah, if you want one, just give me a call or an email. Thanks.